Hey, pause YouTube, 6ftHax here. After yesterday, pretty good, really close Wi-Fi battle I had against C.L.Luna. You guys may remember her from a couple battles ago, and luckily we actually ended up having another pretty good game. This time though, we are in the UU tier. Now for those of you who may not know, recently Weavile was being suspect tested in UU, and it's actually going to stay in UU, which is kind of crazy, but at the same time, Terrakion, Latios, and Scizor all used to be OU last gen, and they're UU this gen. So let me know what you guys think about Weavile in the UU tier. So this is a pretty cool team I found on the forum. It's a very offensively based team, which I like to use in UU just to have some really good quick games. And like I said, this was a really good close battle. So going into this game, obviously Specs Primarina, being one of my favorite Pokemon in the UU tier, is going to be able to apply a lot of pressure to Luna going into this game. I don't really have too good of a switch in to the Alolan Ninetales, so I have to watch out for that. And then if Mega Sceptile gets behind the substitute, that could be a little bit annoying to deal with. So I do end up leading off with my Primarina, expecting her to either lead off with the Fortress, Porygon 2, or maybe even the Mamoswine. I should be able to chew one hit from the Mamoswine if she did want to lead with that, just to get a Rocks turn 1. But because she led off with the Fortress, I can basically just go for a free Sparkling Aria. I was pretty close to going for the Moonblast, thinking that maybe she would try to hard switch directly into the Latios, but at the same time, that could have been a really risky play for her to have made. So I'm able to break the sturdy on the Fortress as in comes the Muck. I do get a little lucky here and I get a crit. I am still not going to be able to 2 KO her though, so I guess this crit doesn't really matter too much, but this Muck was her second best answer to switch into my Specs Primarina, as I don't want anything on my team to get knocked off or poisoned. And while Swampert does look pretty good on paper in this game, I can't do anything to that Porygon 2, and if I try to switch into Buzzwole on the Porygon 2, she can easily Thunder Wave me. So if anything, I want to try and just apply some early game pressure with Swampert. If I can force her out, that's going to be really good for me. If she wants to stay in, then I should be able to beat this Muck 1v1, as I actually end up going for the Ice Punch, thinking that maybe she would want to switch into the Latios, just in the off chance that I went straight for the Rain Dance or the Waterfall or Earthquake. But she's just going to stay in here, go for 2 Shadow Sneaks on my Mega Swampert. She does get a little lucky here with the Poison Touch, but that honestly doesn't matter. I don't think it makes up for me critting here. Like, I really think that crit was more important than this poison, but I guess it's kind of a little nice payback for me, because this means I really have no more use for my Swampert in this game. If anything, I would have liked to keep it for a Death Fodder, but because I don't want to let the Sceptile get behind a substitute, I'm just going to stay in here and go straight for the Ice Punch, because there is a chance that maybe she'll try and sub, thinking I want to save Swampert, or she can just be aggressive and go straight for the Giga Drain, which she is going to end up doing. Dragon Pulse, sorry, but either way, she is going to knock out my Swampert. It doesn't really matter though, with Swampert being this low on poison, I didn't really have too much use for it outside of maybe trying to sack it off later, as I do get a free switch into Metagross. Now, outside of Mega Metagross, I've never really used Metagross in general, so I was surprised to see that this thing can easily chew 2 hits from this Mega Sceptile, depending on damage rolls, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm going to be able to get on my Stealth Rocks here, because I can chew 1 Focus Blast. If she goes for it again, there's a chance she can miss, and I think if she got like a really low damage roll, I could live. So either way, getting up my rocks here I thought was going to be my best play to do, because I'm now able to apply pressure on her as she's applying pressure to me, and I'm able to even out the playing field, because now we both have Stealth Rocks up, as I'm going to be able to knock out this Fortress. Really happy I did a Moonblast there, because Earthquake wouldn't have knocked out Fortress, and then she could have either started spiking or tried to Rapid Spin away my Stealth Rocks. As in comes this Porygon 2. If you guys remember the first battle me and Luna had, this thing was a massive pain to deal with, and because her best move to go for is either the Thunder Wave or the Shadow Ball, I'm going to switch directly into my Primarina. It's not going to be too bothered by the paralysis, because it's not really going to be doing too much else in this battle. I think after Stealth Rocks, I'm actually in range of where a Mamoswine can knock me out. Plus, I don't really have too many safe switch-ins to this Porygon 2, so if anything, my game plan is to just try and weaken this Porygon 2, or put her in a position of where she has to go for the recover, and then I can try and switch out. But I don't want this Porygon 2 to be at full HP when I try to bring in my Buzzwole, because I don't want to risk Buzzwole not being able to one-shot it. As I get fully paralyzed, that's honestly not going to be entirely too crucial, as she goes for the Shadow Ball here and gets Ace but Death Drop. Again, that doesn't really end up mattering, just because all I need to do is get off this extra bit of damage on Porygon 2, and now she's either going to want to go for for another Shadow Ball or just go for the recover again. And either way, by switching directly into Bug Lesnar here, if she does get brought back up to full HP, I should still be able to two-shot her, or I can actually knock her out depending on if she's running a lot of defensive E's or not. So she gets another Spadef drop with this. Apparently Shadow Ball just fucking hates me, dude. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure out of 7 Shadow Balls in games, 5 of them have dropped my Spadef, so that's a little bit annoying, but hey, it is Pokemon. As I don't miss the Hammer Arm, I'm gonna be able to annihilate that Porygon 2. Thankfully, it was not as big of an issue in this battle as it was in our first game. So one giant bulky mon is down, as in comes the Sceptile, which still has the potential of having the substitute. So if she did have the sub, this would have been her perfect chance to go for it, but I need to keep my Buzzwole, because Buzzwole is the only thing I have that can easily take any hit from Mamoswine. So switching here directly into Primarina might have been a little bit risky if she went for the sub, but she just ends up being aggressive, maybe thinking I would stay in to try and prevent her from subbing if she did have it, as she's gonna pick me off here with the Giga Drain, which is perfectly fine because this gives me a free switch into either my Weavile, which can go for the Ice Shard, or it gives me a free switch into my Metagross, which she really has no safe switch in the Metagross at this point. I think she's down to the Sceptile, the Mamoswine, and the Alolan Ninetales, all 3 of which do not appreciate switching in to a stabbed, life-orbed, adamant Meteor Mash. So she's gonna end up going for the HP Fire here, as it puts me a little bit low. Not entirely too bad because I don't end up missing this Meteor Mash. However, though, she does barely live on like 1%, but it's fine because we do have the Bullet Punch on this set, which is really awesome. So we're gonna be able to pick off this Sceptile. The only issue with this is that I think I'm in range of where Stealth Rocks can knock me out, and I'm definitely in range of where an Ice Shard from Mamoswine will knock me out. And I'm kind of hoping maybe she doesn't have Ice Shard on Mamoswine, but then again, Ice Shard on Mamoswine is basically a staple just because of how strong it is for it being a 40 base priority move. So she's going to be able to pick me off here, out prioritizing me because Mamoswine is faster than Metagross, giving me a free switch into my Buzzwole, which should be able to live any one hit, and then in return, as long as I don't miss the Hammer Arm, I'm going to just annihilate this Mamoswine. So she is going to end up going for the Icicle Crash. I can easily chew one just because Buzzwole is so bulky. Man, look at that. I don't even have HP investment, but it's not well trained, and I get flinched. Now, that flinch honestly doesn't matter. Her last Pokemon is Alolan Ninetales. It would have been able to come in and knock me out anyways, but it would have just been really nice to knock out Mamoswine here with my Buzzwole. So, since my last 2 mons are Weavile and Latias, I don't want to bring in Latias to take an Ice Shard, so I have to bring in Weavile here, and I basically just have to go for the knockoff and really have no other move that I have that's going to knock out this Mamoswine at this high amount of HP. And she doesn't go for the Ice Shard. I'm not really sure why. The extra bit of chip damage would have been nice. I guess maybe on the off chance that I over predicted or that she thought she could live. Down it goes, as in comes the Ninetales. Now, in theory, I should be able to win this battle. Like, there's nothing that Alolan Ninetales can do, I'm pretty sure, that's going to allow her to beat Weavile plus Latias. So all I have to do is get off a bit of chip damage with this Icicle Crash that should put it in range of where a Side Shock from my Latias is going to be able to knock her out, as she's going to end up pulling out something I was not expecting, man. Yesterday was just a battle of where I wasn't expecting shit, apparently. So she pulls out the Z Ice move, and I'm thinking, okay, it's Sub-Zero Slammer. No, it's Z Auroraville. Now, for those of you who don't know what Z Auroraville does, not only does it give you the added benefits of Auroraville, but it also gives Alolan Ninetales +1 speed. And that is really, really bad, because now this thing outspeeds my Weavile, and it outspeeds my Latias, which would have naturally outsped Alolan Ninetales. So if she's got the Blizzard, I lose this battle. But then again, Freeze Dry is a very common move on Ninetales, so it literally comes down to this, and it turns out that she doesn't have the Blizzard, and as long as she doesn't crit me or get a special attack drop, I should be able to win with Latias, which neither happens because Latias is well trained, and I'm able to pick off the Ninetales for the very, very narrow 1-0 victory, man. I did not expect this to be this close, to be honest with you guys. I don't know, maybe in the end that miss might have mattered because I could have pressured her. Well, no, because if she outsped Buzzwole, then she still would have been able to Z Aurora on Weavile. Let's see, I guess it just didn't matter. But either way, like, I didn't expect that game to be close because of Z Aurora. I don't even know what Z Aurora did until this battle. Apparently gives you +1 speed, and that's actually kind of terrifying. So again, good game to Luna. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the battle. Make sure to hammer that like button down below. Let me know what you guys think about Weavile being added to the UU tier. If you may have missed the team building video for week 3 of Pokemon 4 Glory, which was uploaded earlier today, check that out because the week 3 battle is going to be live recorded and uploaded tomorrow on Saturday. So yeah guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all later.
Cause my brain and heart are both tied in a knot, and this hinders me from crying a lot. This causing me to show no emotion. But when I said I cared, I wasn't joking. But I guess it's too late for me to become broken. For now, I'm living with no more pain, tears of hoping. I'm just coasting. Yeah, I said I'm coasting. No more pain, tears, and hoping.